Whew. Velocicoaster. This is the infamous Intamin multi-launch located at Universal Islands of Adventure. I actually just rode this ride recently, and I must say, I was pretty shocked just by how ridiculous this ride was. Going in, I didn't think it was going to be as highly ranked on my list as it is now, but it definitely brought a punch. This ride opened in 2021. It is 155 feet tall and it has an 80-degree drop. The max speed is 70 miles per hour and it hits that on the second launch. One thing I want to say before I actually get into this review, the theming is immaculate. Everywhere you look, even just from a distance, you can see that this ride is very well themed. The Raptor paddock in the first half is really cool. There's some tunnels, there's some walls, and there's even Velociraptor statues here and there that you just wind around as you're traveling through the layout. The queue itself is actually very well themed too. In fact, so much so that I didn't actually mind waiting 30 to 45 minutes each time I rode it. It's just so futuristic and it's very well done. To be honest, I wouldn't have minded waiting an hour for that queue because first of all, the line moves very fast. These operations are great. They're flawless. And second of all, there's always something to look at. You're never bored in that line. Now, let's get into the actual review. So I rode this roller coaster 3 times. I got to ride it in the front and twice in the back. When you get to the top of the station, you'll get on the train, and these trains are basically the same as Pantheon at BGW. The restraints are great, the train looks cool, it's awesome. When you start out, you'll head out the station and you'll approach the first launch. What's so cool to me is as you hear the sounds winding up when you're about to launch, if you look off to both sides, there's actually projectors showing 2 Raptors, one on each side, that are about to run with you. And these Raptors are just making all kinds of foolish sounds as you're about to launch, and the atmosphere of this opening sequence is just great. So the first launch catapults you up into this overbank, and the launch is pretty solid. It's nowhere near as good as the second one, but it wasn't bad at all. It's a pretty decent launch. The overbank then slings you down and up into a dive loop, and this dive loop was pretty solid. You get some airtime flying over it. And after this, a lot of the first half is going through these tight turns, through the rocks, through the walls, seeing little Raptors here and there. And there's a few airtime moments that are planted into this first half. It's a pretty solid start, and the first half itself is obviously nowhere near as good as the second half. But it's decent. It's a pretty good start to the ride. Now, eventually, when you approach the second half, you're going to swoop down into this long corridor. And this second launch is just... it's ridiculous. It's just a ridiculous launch. It's amazing. You'll swoop up into the top hat, and this is where you hit that 155-foot tall mark. The drop that follows is amazing. Great airtime. If you're in the back row, prepare to get slung. After this, you're going to swoop over into a 0G stall, and this stall is really extended. You get hang time for a decent couple of seconds, and it's really quick, while at the same time, it's whipping you through it and out of it so quickly. It's awesome. After this, you'll swoop up into a wave turn, and it's a really small one, but it's a nice pop of ejector. Then you're going to go into one of my favorite parts of the ride, which is this twist into an outer bank, which twists you back out. Like the previous moment, it's a short moment of airtime, but it's great ejector, and you even get laterals from it. It's really good. After this, you'll take the final outer bank, and this is going to swing you into a little speed hill. It's nothing special, you don't really get that much airtime from it. But following this is definitely the best part of the ride. This is the Mosasaurus roll. Before I rode this roller coaster, everyone raved about this element, and I looked at it from POVs and I was like, it looks cool, it looks fast. I don't see how this is going to be any different from any other 0G roll. I was humbled. This element is great. And I think the most insane part about this element was the sensation of going into it. It slings you up and to the left while it's inverting. So it feels like you're getting thrown upward and to the left, but you're going upside down at the same time. See, I don't even know how to explain this. I can't put it into words. You just have to ride it. But after this, you'll go up into a little twisted airtime hill. Nothing special. You get a little pop over it. And then you sling into the brake run. And that is Velocicoaster. This ride is without a doubt one of the most complete rides I have ever experienced. The pacing is great, it's intense, the launches are awesome, the elements are so well done. I honestly love every bit of this ride. Some parts are more aggressive and more insane than others, but the experience overall is what makes this ride complete for me. And the front row ride that I got was actually at night. So I think that ride is what sealed the deal for me when I decided, yeah, this thing is going in my top 5. This ride is amazing. It's so well done, and I could ride it over and over again if the line wasn't always 30 plus minutes. But I must say, I do believe this ride is overrated in a way. And you're probably listening to me thinking I'm an absolute fool for saying that because I just praised it. But I mean it's overrated in the aspect that I don't believe it's the best coaster in America, let alone the world. But clearly, it's top 5 worthy. It's amazing. It's fast. It's insane. There's really nothing to hate about this ride. It's just so much fun. So, for Velocicoaster's final score, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I took the 0.5 off because I normally give a 10 out of 10 to a ride if it just leaves me unbelievably stunned. So, thank you guys for watching. This has been my Velocicoaster review. I thought it was a fantastic ride. It blew me away. It was so much fun, and I will 100% be making a trip out to Florida again just for this ride alone. And all the others, of course, but you know what I mean. This has been my review of Velocicoaster at Universal Islands of Adventure. Peace.